I'm pretty sure we have more people in stream team
Hello
than this.
everyone, this is IRC Indian Racing Community and we are back for round 5 at Austria. Shawshank introing us over there. He is with me in the comms box. Kapil is a streamer and let's not forget the goated McLaren duo of season 12 is also here. With me is Moto and well, we have quite a bit of a twist coming up because it is Austria but it is reverse and nobody has driven this track, at least our drivers haven't. Nobody's done practice. And Moto, let's get started with you here. What can the viewers and the drivers expect from the reverse Austria track?
Yeah, so Austria reverse. Well, hello everyone. It's been a while. I would like to say that, but yeah, Austria reverse reminds me a bit of Portimao on steroids because it's like the elevation changes are just absolutely insane. You forget you need to forget about everything about the track, whatever you know, and just you need to approach it in such a different way. It's gonna make for an interesting race for sure. Could be chaotic, could be really fun with a lot of wheel to wheel. Let's see what's in store for us. But yeah, good looks like a good prospect.
Absolutely. And before, of course, we get going as traditions here at IRC, we do have our season trailer that, of course, we need to show because it is made with a lot of hard work. So let's switch on over to that and enjoy. And not bad odds for the five lights to go out over here as they have, and we have begun racing. Going side by side, going into back into back into almost three wide. So Alex Joseph has sent it once again, has sent Fury into he has retired from this race. Turns on, there it goes Wizard of Oz. Clearly on the charge. These huge collision. Great trailer prepared by our one and only washing powder Nirma, an OG veteran. And talking about some of the veterans, Shawshank, how about the drivers? Who are you placing your bets on the top three for this race?
Might as well just they're hanging around all the time. I'm just trying to picture the track, and I just want to see who dive bombs into turn one because of the kink in the left-hander. So yeah, I'm just excited to watch this, man.
I mean, that fails to answer the question, but yeah, simply, I think there are a lot of drivers in contention for the win. I think Helium might be one of them. Maybe Jishnu is another one I've heard is quite quick. And I mean, it's let's see what's in store for us. I think the popular names are not going to do that well here because it's such a mixed up track. It's just so different from any other. So yeah, it makes for an interesting prospect, and hopefully there's some rain to further spice up things as well. That'll always be great in Austria.
Certainly. And when doesn't rain not spice up things? It is always adding chaos to
It's
whatever
true.
we have. 11 drivers on the grid for now. And yeah, I mean, you're not wrong there, Moto. With it being reversed, don't be shocked when the drivers leave the other way around the garages and not, going the correct way, but which is the wrong way. You get the point. There will be quite a bit of confusion for quite a lot of people, especially for us, because I mean, the turn numbers, will they be the same? We don't know. We'll just see how things go along the way. We're in qualifying now, though, and nobody willing to go out just yet. Certainly, I mean, it makes sense. Nobody has really done much practice. Looks like that is Hector's Ferrari that's actually leaving the garage now. And certainly one of the drivers we do expect to do well. But of course, since it is a new track, quote on quote, it could potentially throw some random person into the top three, and we could see someone like the likes of Faizan or even Deepak Raj who have been struggling a little bit this season to be somewhere close to that top three.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, the gaps here could be really small, or actually, rather, I think they might be exaggerated because of how different circuit is. I've said that quite a few times. I think it should stop. But we're on board with Helium now, aka Hacker as he's called, and for good reason. He's quite quick, and a lot of people do think he's got some third-party apps running in the background to help him with that, but I doubt it. So yeah, let's just have a look at this new screwed up layout that we have into this originally turn 3, which is supposed to be on cambered hairpin, but now since it's reverse, it's off cambered at the. It's still on cambered on the apex, but the approach is off camber, so it's a very tricky braking zone. And then this one is just insanity because of how fast you approach. It's I don't know what what's gonna happen there, but it's certainly gonna be a congested point in terms of racing action. On board with the flying lap, the first corner is nearly flat. The second one is also just barely a lift or dab on the brakes, and again just barely a lift. In fact, he goes full throttle to the left-hander. Now he lifts a bit, and then onto the sweep, the final sweeper, takes it pretty nicely. And then this is what is really similar to Portimao, like turning while braking and uphill, and then difficult on the exit as well because the car is just so out of balance with the uphill traction zone there. And then this corner is just hellish on the brakes. I mean, you have to brake really early to make it properly, and then just gets a bit of oversteer on the exit there, but no harm done. Yeah, and again, we have noticed the ERS strategy is a bit different. Simply, I think you would know more about that. So, could you educate us as to how that works?
Well, the ERS is something we have touched upon earlier, but yeah, I mean, we are all learning new things along the way. 104.398 for Hacker as Faizan begins his lap. But yeah, coming back to the ERS, well, the ERS is quite intriguing because it is not the traditional ERS that we're used to, at least from F123, where now we do have the multiple ERS modes that we did have earlier, Deepak with the 106, 2 seconds off of Hacker for now. But yeah, coming back, the ERS, well, they can change around a little bit and go to none to get maximum saving, or they can put it onto hot lap to get the maximum deployment. King James retiring from the session, and he has also left, so clearly some sort of an issue for him over there. He'll be out of qualifying for now, and I think it is, from what I've heard from the drivers especially, is that it is very easy to save the ERS, but it is just as easier, if not twice as easier, to burn away all the ERS. So there are specific places, especially on the tracks like how we've had Spa, where there are specific places where you want to deploy and specific places where you would want to harvest, so that you have a very good equal balance of the ERS at the end of the lap. Whereas as tracks like Austria, perhaps that might not be required. Jishnu setting the fastest lap as expected, almost 4 tenths faster than Hacker. And there'll be quite a few drives we'll be keeping an eye out on. The Pro 106.9, so he's setting his foot in this session. So coming back to the ERS point, I'll just make one final statement upon that. It's just that the drivers are looking at track guides on how to use the ERS, because apparently that's very, very important now. So I did see a few drivers earlier on looking at track guides as to where to use the ERS in qualifying and as well as in the race. So especially in the race, we'll see who can save up the battery, who's following the track guides, and who's just dumping it and hoping for a Hail Mary.
Yeah, it is interesting that we have the option to change ERS modes. It reminds me of 2019, I think it was, where ERS was first in 2018, but 19 had a huge role in ERS because of how bad the region was, I think. And I think it's great that we have the ability to change the modes freely in qualifying. It just gives a bit of more strategy into play, in just rather than just raw pace and talent. You do need to be a bit smart about where and how you choose to deploy your ERS. Again, on a track like Austria, as you've mentioned, which is quite short, I don't think it'll be that much of a factor. But yeah, certainly tracks like Monza and Spa would certainly play a role. As we get a few more laps underway, we see Aradia on board as well. Faizan is in P3. That's a very quick lap from the Aston Martin driver. Putting that car in a place where I'd least expect, but yeah, props to him for that. That's a great lap he's done. Hmm. It's interesting that the times are too far off what you would get in, normal Austria. I think this track would be faster, maybe, because of how quick the first couple of corners are. But then I guess it equalizes later on because the braking zones are a bit slower, especially the uphill one. But yeah, it certainly seems that this track just seems way more faster in reverse for sure, especially this first sector where you have two blisteringly fast left-handers coming at you, where you really play with the limits of the track. And it seems that the drivers are doing pretty well. I don't think we've seen many invalidations as of yet, because that's normally a very common theme, isn't it? Simply around Austria, where invalidations are like, everywhere. It's so very common, so easy to do that. But in reverse, I guess it's a bit easier to keep it within track limits, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It is much easier to keep it within track limits, but there's of course a trade-off, because what is racing without trade-offs? It's that, I mean, you won't really pick up track limits. As we can see Alex actually going through one of the corners where you can pick up track limits, but it's actually much lenient as opposed to the normal layout. But of course, well, now the walls are closer because, well, the track wasn't made to be going in the reverse layout as we are taking them around. So if you do go off, if you do just make that one little bit of a mistake, whereas earlier you could have gone onto the grass. Aradhya Gupta retiring from this session.
He's
Uh,
crashed last
yeah, he's
corner.
crashed final corner. That is a very crucial person to be out of qualifying right now.
Do we get to see him? No, I don't think so.
I don't
That's very. I think maybe he crashed coming into the pits, maybe, because that's very easy. I can imagine in this reverse layout because of how fast the entry is. Uh, yeah, it could be that. That's not.
it
That's not how
could
you
have.
want to start your quali, honestly.
Certainly not. But one question to Shawshank. Do you reckon Faizan has it in him to do that once in a season podium finish here in Austria?
He could, but the thing is, I was looking at Free's lap, and Free lost the car in the same corner that Aradia lost the car at. I think he locked the rears. I think both the drivers actually did lock the rears. But Faizan, if he actually, does his ERS management and, keeps the drivers behind in a clean way, he might actually get a podium. The race win, I don't know, because the pace difference is actually pretty large, but I think he could get a podium.
That will be very, very fun to watch if he does end up getting a podium. He's been taken part in so many seasons, and podiums have been quite rare for him. But when it does happen, it's always nice to see a different driver up there. But he's gonna have to work for it, considering the gap is actually not that much between him and P3 as of now, just tenth and a bit. And considering the Merc of Aradia is out, he has a free chance at that P3. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see that. But yeah, Jishnu is still like 3 tenths clear of P2, and uh, I highly doubt he's gonna get usurped by anyone in today's qualifying. He goes even faster. Granted, it is by a smidge, but yeah, just extending the gap little by little.
Exactly, and as you would agree, Mot, it's the little things that matter. As we can see, Dark Knight, who we
Hold
should
on, is
not
it
count
raining?
out.
Yeah, I think I just saw a drop.
Yeah. Could we go on board, couple, if that's possible? I think I saw it. Yeah, I think that's a drop, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah, it
I
is
think that
raining.
is a drop. Yeah.
That
It is
is,
drizzling, rather, not
yeah,
full on
it's
rain.
not fully a proper shower just yet. Maybe not time for enters, but whenever that does come in, well, essentially qualifying will be over because
I
all of
think it
these
is.
times
Yep.
are unbeatable. And so whatever the runs, these are the final ones. And as I was saying, let's not count Dark Knight out just yet, because while Faizan is looking like a solid competitor, only a few hundreds off, he is not unprone to mistakes. If you know what I'm saying, he is,
Hmm.
sometimes he is there, and can't believe I'm saying it, but this season he's been taken out more than the reciprocal. So I think, yeah, perhaps that we could see a good P3 fight like we did see last week in Saudi. But for now, we will just have to see what happens in qualifying. Of course, Aradhya Gupta, now that he's out, if the other drivers do somehow improve, he's going to be starting behind these guys, and that's obviously the last thing we want.
I
He wants to
I
be up.
don't. I highly doubt anyone's gonna. Let's just stay on board with Helium and see how much of a grip loss. Okay, he's just finished his lap, has he? Oh, well, he
There
improved
he's
on his lap.
starting.
He's starting his lap. Okay, let's see. He's taking these corners quite well. Have a look at the lap timer after he crosses the first sector line, which should be coming up soon. Yeah, he looks a bit squiggly through there. Yeah. Oh no, he's improving by a lot. Okay, interesting. The rain seems to have helped him there somehow, gaining a lot of time. Maybe he was just not pushing as hard in the first few laps. Now he really needs to go gung ho around this circuit because the rain is coming down and the grip is just going to keep dropping away from him in this session. Into this really tricky braking zone, takes it pretty well. I think he overshot that a bit, but let's see as he crosses the second sector line, which I've looked. Okay, he's still he lost a bit of time compared to the first sector, but he's still 2.5 tenths up. It won't be enough to usurp P1. Loses the rear quite a lot there and catches that well. What's it going to be? No, he's gone really
Oh,
slow. Yeah, I think the grip just fell away from him at the end.
Last corner has been prone to mistakes by, the
Yeah.
top drivers. I think the others are just taking it very easy.
Yep. Yep. Think about the last corner. Is just you're just approaching so quickly.
Yeah.
It's so different as to how you take it normally. Because you're going downhill and it's a really short and fast braking zone. You want to carry so much speed through there, but yeah, it's just really hard to nail, especially in these conditions right now.
certainly. And considering that there has been some improvement, I think we did see improvement from Helium before he made that mistake. Faizan could still well potentially be on for a
Oh,
P3
never
and he's
mind.
invalidated, but he has time. He has time to go for another, and now the rain's getting heavier. So Faizan will have to hurry, and then everyone who's on track will have to hurry because, well, you don't really have much time left before the track gets too wet for you to be doing anything.
Free is starting his lap. Yeah,
Thanks
Free.
is important.
Oh, oh my god. Okay, yeah, he's definitely hit the wall there.
Oh, yeah. The grip is out.
Yeah,
There's
grip
a
is
little grip.
gone. And yeah,
Track
folks.
greasy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, just saying the track is greasy right now, and you can very well see the track building up some water on top of it. So I think whatever this was, the final runs for these drivers might have been it. Because yeah, Gangster disqualified from the session. Looks like he forgot which way the pit lane goes. But yeah, as of yet, there's still a few drivers who haven't really set proper lap times. Very few of them. But yeah,
Oh,
blocking the pit lane. Okay, that's a very interesting thing
yeah,
being
we
spun out.
saw. So before Kapil just cut away from Gangster there, I think he was in too hot into the pit lane. So definitely he did lose the car there because he was going to hit the wall just before we cut away from him there, and I think that's resulted in a DSQ. He's also coming in very hot. Is he going to hit the wall? Oh,
You
Saves it.
reckon any driver is gonna go into the barriers during the race?
100%.
oh,
Oh
oh my
my
God.
god.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that is something we don't really see
Yeah.
because we've only seen racing in the right way, and usually there's no sharp edges over there. But I guess now this is something you also have to look out for, that the AI does a really bad job at saving your car after taking control in the pit lane. So you have to enter in quite normally as well, and you cannot lose your rear because otherwise, what happened to Pre now could happen to somebody else as well.
Indeed. And yeah, I think that's it for qualifying. We have our top three. Aradhya still keeps his P3 even having set his lap very early on. So good effort by him. I'm pretty sure he had more time on his lap. It's a Merc 1-3 with a Ferrari in between, and then a Dark Knight, another Ferrari. So Merc versus Ferrari. Take me back to 2018, man. I hopefully we see a great fight between those two teams right there. Then Faizan with a great P5 lap as well. Deepak sixth, returning to F125. Well, not returning. He's I think this is his first race in this new game. So yeah, That's why he looks a bit lackluster, but I'm sure there's more to come from him in the race. Alex P8, P9 is Render Richick, and P10 is King James after having suffered a disconnection, and Gangster sadly, unfortunately, got TSQ'd after having a bit of a kerfuffle with the pit entry. Deepak is still trying to improve on inters. Go Deepak. We know why not. Maybe he's just trying to get some inter running in. Maybe the race could be wet. You never know. We don't know that. So yeah, if the race is wet, I think we're on for a banger. I mean, it was going to be a banger anyway, but yeah, with the rain, you never know what's going to happen.
Certainly, and I would actually say Motor, hold the helm down for 1 second, because some drivers are in a different way, so let me go ask them what the situation is for the race so we can
I
get an
think it's
idea.
better if we stay in suspense. Let's just, let's just stay
Okay.
here because it's always gonna be nice if we get caught by surprise. Deepak, yeah, going way off there. You know what? I'm gonna place your bets, Shawshank and Simply, because I think the race might just be wet because there's no reason for Deepak to try this.
Exactly, right? But the problem is nobody else did it. Like all the drivers just decided,
Well,
okay, yeah,
maybe they're
haven't done this.
confident in the wet, or maybe they don't see any reason to, run more laps.
I mean, multiple drivers did lock their tires, motors. I don't think they're confident enough. But
Maybe they don't. Maybe they just don't care. Oh,
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 EA being EA, we'll be back with you in a short while.
we are backo for the race, and looks like it is so far dry. No clouds to be seen
Saj.
just yet, but we do not know what will happen later on in the session.
Indeed. As we, you know what? Let's talk about the race start. Because now you don't have an uphill right hander. You have a very fast, very quick. Probably because of the race start, it might just be flat out, the first turn. Uh, any incidents you guys expect, or is it going to be all clean?
100%.
Half the grid gone.
Didn't even stutter,
Now, because if these drivers try to go flat out on the race, I
Oh,
don't
they
think they know
will.
where to brake. I don't think they know where to brake, and they're going to react to the car in front, and we're gone.
Oh,
EA Sports. It's in your wallet.
have already begun with the formation lap. Can we have a quick look at the tires? What would have these guys opted for? What strategies can we? Majority are on the hards. Jishnu, Faizan, Alex, and Oxygen are the only ones on mediums. So far, what do you think? Is there a discrepancy in the tires because of the wet weather, or is that there is no wet and the ideal strategy could be the hards, and I guess Jishnu being the quickest we've seen so far could actually pull off the alternate strategy.
I mean, it is interesting that we have such a variance, but I don't even know what the meta of this game is. Is it a two-stopper or a one-stopper? It looks to be a one-stopper, I guess, hard to medium or medium to hard. But again, tire wear is quite rampant, especially around Austria, and you're carrying, so much speed through some of these corners. Uh, yeah, I think it's just Helium wanted to go, or opposite to whatever P1 is doing. So that's why he's gone for that. And then maybe the hard guys was trying to like stay out as long as possible in hopes of a late safety car maybe to help them. You never know what's in store for us. We have a few DSQs on the formation lap. I think that's for the grid slot, but yeah, simply take away on the start.
Certainly, I will. And where are the lights? There are the lights. 3, 4, and 5. Lights out and away we go. Really mid start from Dark.
Oh my god.
Oh! Hacker losing his rear on the start, and he certainly has damage. And he has lost the position to Faisal. Faisal moving up 2 positions into P3 already. Render Richik on the outside of what Deepak, who's had a really bad start, and due to that he's moved down to P9. He's Render Richik currently fighting with Pre the Pro, and he's got ahead of Pre the Pro, so Pre as well not having the best of times, but Pre sticks to the inside. Render Richik going off wide, and now they're side by side through the S's. What would be in 4th gear, they're still in 4th gear, but now a very slow corner coming up. Where will they be? The camera angle really bad, really Monaco level of direction going on, and yeah, pretty much hard to tell. Looks like Oxygen eyeing up a move on King James. Apologies on what Deepak, and he has gone past Deepak, and Deepak having a really bad start. That is Alex going off wide, and some Alpine has both the Alpine and the Williams of what Deepak have spun. It looks like it is Render Richik, and Gangster is somewhere far behind. Looks like he stalled on the grid, but so far a fairly clean start.
Yeah, pretty clean start, and then a lot of people dipping the wheel into the gravel there. Faizan with a great start, up 3 positions if I'm not wrong. Curious to see what had happened to the Ferrari of Helium. I think he just lost it on the start, which is very unusual to what we know from him as a driver. So he had definitely got some damage on that wing. Wing Dark Knight is right nose to tail with him. But or maybe actually I think Helium might have gotten away with it because he's sort of gotten back into rhythm and he's just eating out a gap to his teammate right now. But we have a DNF already in Battle of Gangster there, so I don't know what happened there. But really interesting to see that Faizan with the tire advantage is making sure he's with all of it right now. I do sense a dive bomb coming into the last corner. DRS, as we know, has been enabled as per the current regulations, and Faizan gets that move done pretty easily using all the that has to be a warning. But now Aradhi with the DRS back at him, will he go side by side, squeezing him a bit, and Aradhi just swoops around the outside. That's a fantastic move on the Aston Martin driver there. Now he's going to pray that he can clear DRS, because all this battling is just allowing his teammate to pull out a gap, and from what I've heard, he's done that quite a few times in this season as Jishnu. But yeah, a chaotic start for those behind. Pre also not having the best of starts. And yeah, what are your 2 cents on it, Shawshank?
See, they have great position. Now they have to actually get past Faizan, who looks pretty pacey right now, sticking right with Aradhya, even though he's using his DRS. But if he can keep this up for 2-3 laps, we might just have a scrap, a 4-car scrap for P23.
The gaps do look quite close. There's someone taking another another trip to the gravel on the exit of that corner. I think that's going to be a theme as to how tricky that braking zone is just a really rubbish route. The gaps are sort of equalized now. I think it's going to be a DR train from here on out, and Jishnu sort of falling a bit back to the clutches with Ravi, a 10th game there, but then a 10th extended again. So I think they both are on pretty even pace, and Faizan still sticking with DRS around there with that tire advantage he has. He has to make that advantage count while it does, because once the tires do drop off, they really do go away from you, and it's really easy to lose the cars. But yeah, on board with Helium now, eyeing up a move on Faizan. He's going to try and get a good exit from here. Does so, but he is in he's experiencing the curse of the third car in the DRS train, so it's just going to be equalized by the DRS is just going to cancel out there. But
But
yeah, it seems like it's going to be a good battle.
but do you all reckon that Aradhya is asking his teammate to drop back a little to just help him get rid of this train? Because if he keeps battling here, I don't think he can finish on the podium.
Yeah, that is a good point. Faizan and Aradhya do have to play this carefully, as we just saw Helium trying to go for a dive there on Faizan, but Faizan just broke that much later and used all the track there to keep the position. Now Dark Knight seems to have being start getting held up by the cars in front of him. There's oxygen going under and over on the Haas, and gets that move done. Very nice move there. But the gaps have opened up in the top three, and now it's just P3, 4, and 5. So Faizan is starting to hold up the cars behind him now.
Yeah, that is managed to equate just that little bit enough to break that DRS, and now Faizan will be getting that dirty air. But yeah, of course, Hacker and Dark Knight will be also getting the dirty air from Faizan. So it won't be the easiest job for them to do over here, but although by the looks of it, Helium has the DRS and he's close enough to make a move on Faizan,
Wow.
as he does before going into
This
the
flies
final
past.
corner. But I'm sure Faizan's not going to let that go by him, and he's gonna do something, or at least the other, to make up that position back and end up on that P3 spot, at least for now, because Dark Knight is right on his tail, and he is obviously gonna pressure him, and I'm sure Helium's giving him instructions as to what to do to get past Faizan as quickly as possible, because as expected, Faizan is struggling a little bit to hold on in the midst of these quicker drivers.
Yeah,
Helium is actually closing the gap on Aradhya. He's made up 2 tenths, 3 tenths, in fact, in this one lap.
that's interesting. I think Aradhya is also in the mediums, or is he in the hards? Could we have a look at the tires again? Uh, Yeah, okay, they're both on the
Uh,
same tire, so it does seem that the advantage. Okay, interesting. I didn't notice that Jishnu is on the medium, so Aradhya is not in that bad of a position right now. He's still within undercut range. However, I'm pretty sure he's going to go for the overcut, considering he's on the harder compound. But yeah, this race is not lost for the other Merc driver or the Ferrari, because they can extend. And Jishnu is just going to get slower and slower as the laps go on, considering he's on a compound softer right now. As we are going on board the other Ferrari, who seems to have gotten stuck behind Faizan. I can just imagine how hard it is to follow in these high-speed corners, especially with the turbulent air being even more accentuated, through the high-speed sections in this game. So Dark Knight really does need to sort of get his lines right and get that move done as quickly as possible, because I think he has more pace in the tank.
Absolutely, I think he just needs that help from Helium just a little bit. I think what would be quite helpful for Dark Knight would be that Helium pulls away from that 1 second, but of course that TRS is just too strong for Helium to be conveniently pulling away. And Daki is much closer though. He has the DRS. He's also using his DRS. Faizan moving to the right to squeeze Dark Knight, but of course not enough. Of course, Dark Knight will have his DRS from his teammate up ahead, and I'm sure his teammate is obviously looking to work with him, but I don't think there would be any Ferrari battles just yet, as these guys are in a very, very good position to win the Constructors. Faizan, after losing a position to Dark Knight, currently sat in P5, has not much ERS as opposed to the drivers ahead, but I think as long as he can hang on to the DRS, even with his aging tires at this point, I'm sure he's struggling to find some grip on those really old mediums. If he can hang on to the DRS, I think he can still finish somewhere solid, because if not, then obviously we have Oxygen, who's just looking to get that P5 finish from Faizan because he knows he could be quicker when the time does come around.
Yeah, all this while, I think Jishnu's tire advantage is just slowly and surely dropping. However, that gap has sort of stagnated, I think, but you know, later on, we certainly could see a battle for P1. Just in hopes that there's no safety car. Interestingly enough, I've heard has not been a single safety car in this game.
That is true.
Correct me. Yeah, so that it's going to be quite rare. I can't believe I'm saying this for an F1 game for there to be a safety car, but it seems that EA have done something to reduce the chances of that being triggered. Okay, Jishnu just had a stonking lap, or either Aradhi's made a big mistake because he's just opened up he's gained 4 tenths or 5 tenths in that one lap. He's now 2.2 ahead.
Yeah, I think
Further
Aradhya
on,
has made a mistake because even Naka has caught up to him a little bit. He made up by 3 times in that corner.
yeah. Quite easy actually on the circuit to make mistakes, especially that last corner we were talking how easy it is to overshoot some of these corners, especially on aging tires. Further on down, we can see that Keith James has sort of recouped himself and gotten ahead of Pri. Pri is not having a good race so far. He's known to be one of the quickest drivers in on the F1 games, but this new game has certainly caught him a bit off. He's having to struggle, balance the physics of 23 and then 25 as well. So it is understandable that he's struggling a bit because the games are quite different, especially 2 years between each of them. King James goes for a move, however, Alex is
Yellows.
getting a pit stop. There's a Alpine who beached on the well, temporarily beached when that happened. He's going again. Alex with a very, very early stop, so I'm guessing it's a one stop, or is he going to pit for mediums again? I'm not quite sure if those hards can make
There
it till
is
the
no
end.
way the
Yeah,
Hearts
yeah,
scored
there's no
26
way.
laps.
Yeah, I think it's going to go be a two stop for him, which could be beneficial, I guess, if he can keep that pace up. It's going to have to be qualifying laps throughout now. Further on ahead, Dark Knight still within DRS, and now Faizan has majorly dropped back, so his tires are completely done, or his ERS is like completely out, either of the two. But yeah, it doesn't look good for Faizan and his podium chances. What could have been the early stages is now dropping away. The Ferrari boys are very, very quick and consistent though, and this battle could be one for the ages. It seems like Vishnu's gap further decreasing right now.
Yeah, Vishnu doesn't really have that pace advantage anymore. So this is something that the other drivers will be considering, especially the hard runners, that the mediums can run about 9 to 10 laps quite solidly before dropping
Oh,
off. As we can see, Dark Knight almost dropping out of the race there while using ERS mid corner. Some would say a rookie mistake, but or perhaps even a mistake that some other people can make as well. But there's particularly only one driver who usually makes it. He shall not be named because he is not here. Anyways, we coming back to the point, what we could potentially be seeing from these hard runners at least is perhaps a two-stopper, obviously a two-stopper, but then instead of going on to say another hards at some point, which wouldn't be practical, let's say a medium is what we're looking at, and Jishnu 11, the first one of the leaders to pull off into the pits, gives his teammate DRS, and we will see, and we will of course keep a very, very sharp eye on him as to where he comes out and what sort of a strategy he follows, as Arade gets into free air, and he will be at least trying to pump in some qualifying laps with whatever is left with his tire. And what Deepak looking at the back of Prithvi the
wow.
Pro, and he has made the move going into turn one. Very clinical, very nice, and no time lost
The
for either of the
overspeed he
drivers.
had there was absolutely monumental. I've never seen that much of an overspeed, even with DRS. Oh, and ERS. That was absolutely crazy. It was like F1 versus F2.
Could have been a wing difference.
Yeah. So Jishnu's come out in traffic behind Pri as well. That is not good. He has to get that move done as soon as possible. Because again, Dirty Air is just going to hold him up so much. And I don't think he's going to struggle to make that move because of the tire advantage he has right now. The tires will be cold, so he will need to heat them up. But yeah, Pri is just not having a
Adya
good
has
race.
pulled off into the pits.
Yeah, what?
Are those the
That
hard
is
tires? Yeah,
that is
Aradhya just put it in for hards.
Has he?
Yeah,
he has. Has he? Can we look at the tire data?
I don't
very
think
quickly?
Radha's. Oh, he has been. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, he
That
has
is
put it
a
for the
hard.
hards.
So
That
he's
is a
he's
hard.
he's very evidently going to finish on the mediums. I'm pretty surprised that the tire wear in
Okay.
this game is that high that you go for the hard medium. That is quite interesting.
Certainly, because as I was saying earlier, it. I mean, even I was predicting a hard medium, but I guess a hard medium could be
Hold
it.
on, is it raining?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, that I don't mind.
Could
Looks
be.
like it dropped it on the bottom left.
We don't know, but what we do know is Jishnu has cleared off what Deepak, who is yet to pit, and Aradhya Gupta looking at looking for a move on what Deepak, and a decent switchback. Deepak clearly is struggling with the traction. I mean, to be fair to him, he has only done one TT session, a 5-minute TT session, before hopping into the race lobby. So let's not blame him there. But yeah,
Oh,
I
it
mean,
is
so far he's
definitely
been
raining,
good.
man. There has to be some drizzle on the track because my eyes can't be that blind. I see left near the F1 EA Sports logo. I'm not quite sure if you guys see it too, but maybe it is drizzling a bit. You never know, but yeah, Deepak surely has to get rid of those 13 lap old hard tires. Maybe he is very clearly trying to do one stop right now, but you know what?
I think
I just
Hacker is
noticed
trying the same thing
Radhya
as well.
hasn't
He has
lost
not fit.
big on it.
Yeah, Hacker is also going to be trying to stretch those out because he's not fitting. He watched both the leaders fit, but he's still staying out.
Yeah, what I was going to point out is that Radhya has successfully managed to what do you call it, undercut maybe, or get close enough to Jishnu with that pit stop strategy because he's now within the DRS teammate, which he was not before, and he's on fresher tires as well. So that's worked wonderfully for him. Surely the traffic might have had some role in that. Um, uh, Hacker has gone on to medium right now. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the Ferrari is going to be one stop. That will be mediums. So I don't think the mediums can make it till the end,
Yeah,
honestly.
impossible. You're asking 21 laps out of the
Yeah,
mediums
that is
when
a lot.
it
Yeah.
fell off after lap number 9.
I have no clue what the strategy is here. I didn't know the tire wear was that bad that you have to go for a hard, medium hard, or medium hard, something like that. But yeah, it seems to be the case around the circuit of Austria here. Yeah, interesting
While
race we
all
have.
that was happening, Faizan actually undercut Darknet. He's ahead of
Oh,
him.
oh yeah, he is. But on a harder compound, I'll be honest. It's not gonna last very long.
I don't think even the drivers know what the strategy they're going for. Because I
They're
mean,
just
everyone's
winging
taking
it,
a
man.
gamble.
They're just winging it.
Exactly.
As we do quite often see in real life, where other teams are just looking at every other team and seeing what they're doing. I think the drivers are doing the same. Yellow flags, who is that for? King
That is
James in the
King
Racing
James.
Bulls. And looks like no damage, no safety cars just yet. But I'm sure a safety car now would ruin the strategies for at least the people who've gone on to a fresh pair of mediums, or perhaps even the hard run as well, because the medium run is going to be right there. But Faizan and Darknet, their tires are going to fall off about the same time because the hards were pretty solid up until lap 12 or 13. And Dark Knight's going to have obviously about 8 more laps. So equates about until the same. So I guess it just comes down to raw pace. between Faizan and Dark Knight as to who can keep it. And so far, Dark Knight is using up all of his tire to catch up to Faizan, and he is within a second, so he will have the DRS as you watch on Pre the Pro behind what Deepak. And this is one of the moments, as Pre would say himself, that he's Pre not so pro YT.
Absolutely, he's not had. Oh yeah, he has managed to wait overcut. What did you say there?
Undercut.
Undercut. Deepak has overcut him here, right? Another yellow flag. I think that might have been a little bit of a spin. Dark Knight within touching distance of Faizan's rear now and looking to get that move done. Helium very evidently setting that overspeed is just mental, man. I don't know what I'm seeing, but I don't think I've seen. They just fly past on that back straight, man. Like I think the DRS is just way too strong here. But yeah, Dark Knight using that tire advantage and past the Aston. P1 and 2 are within touching distance as well. Faizan getting a bit squirrely on the S's. But folks, we have a back P1 and 2, which is shaping up to be really, really interesting.
Because of that battle, Hacker has just made 1 second in one single sector. Because these guys are
Yes,
sticking
this way
so
too
close
fast.
to each other.
Is
Yep.
such the game. I mean, looks like it. Yeah. I mean, Hacker obviously he's also in the lead, so he will be abusing the styles because he knows they're not going to really last more than 10, 11 laps. So might as well extract whatever he can. And of course, the fact that Jishnu's not able to pull away from Maradhi means that if Hacker were to catch up, it's not just Maradhi that's in trouble, it's also Jishnu who's in trouble because we know Helium's the last person to be giving up any positions he's fighting for. And although it'll be a little bit easier for Jishnu to keep that position because that dirty air effect is very, very strong. So obviously having Helium having dirty air from Jishnu as well as Aradhya is going to hinder him a bit. But by the looks of it, the moves that Helium has made earlier when he was in the mix after making that mistake in the first stint, I think he would be fine behind these guys. So I think at this point it's just battery conservation as they are. Aradhya on 100% and Jishnu who's dumping a bit
Yeah,
of his battery.
speaking of conservation, battery conservation, Radhi has a huge surplus over his rival teammate right now, and that is, as we have discussed before, battery is such an integral part in race pace in this game. That could be huge in in the later events of the game. We have the yellow flag in sector one. That's a very slow moving Alpine, if I'm not wrong. Is that render engine? Could be. He's gonna get lapped. But yeah, Radhe looks really good on battery, and I think a move is soon coming. But he's just not able to follow through the sweepers right now. Could it be a different setup, or do you think the dirty air is just that bad for that section?
The dirty air is horrible in this game. So regardless of what setup you have, you're just gonna struggle with it. And Aradhya anyways opts for a more straight liney setup because he is on the controller. And if you don't want to be on a controller like Aradhya, do make sure to check out Race Sims. We are partnered with them, so of course join our server if you do want to catch a sweet discount on some really good concentrates, magic and Moza wheels. But yeah, talking about this, Aradhi does prefer straight liney setups, and of course, while in this game you already have quite a bit of straight line, and of course, having low downforce would give you a little bit more and help you save the battery as well. But of course, the dirty air is just so bad that it is quite hard to tackle with. So I think it's just the dirty air that's really affecting him not being able to close in at this point.
Oh, Faizan has sort of kept within DRS, had not noticed that, and gotten back on the harder compound. There's a retirement. It's in the pit lane, so nothing is gonna happen. But yeah, Faizan's played his. Okay, I think he's just used up a lot of ERS to get past there. Could we have a look at Dark Knight's ERS? Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
I think Dark Knight will get this, but still now he's behind. He's gonna have to struggle with dirty air. So yeah, not a good situation for the other Ferrari, regardless. And you know, all in this battling up front, Helium sort of closed the gap quite a bit. He was 3.3 odd seconds behind with the Merc of Aradhe, but now he's 1.5. seconds behind, and we could see a third car added to the battle. And a battle for P1 with three cars is always really fun around Austria with the DRS game you have. We have another retirement, also in the pit, so nothing's going to happen there. And yep, let's have a look at what games we're going to have to play to try and get past Faizan again. He's not able to keep up to the corners, that's for sure. Deepak, another car really close behind Alex, who pitted. We saw pitting really early, so the tire difference night and day here. This is like Lewis trying to fend off Max in Abu Dhabi 2021. That's how that's how big of a difference the tire life is right now. Pre again, P9, one last of the running drivers right now is just not happening. With one, and Deepak is trying to get the right lines again. Gets a lot of understeer, but gets a good line on the exit there. He's gonna have to play his cards right here. Get a nice exit up on the uphill, goes to the wide approach, cuts back in, and I think the move is going to no, it gets a bit squiddly in the exit, and all of this Prius sort of caught up. So three car battle for P7, 8, 9, and a three car battle for P1, 2, 3. So yeah, things are looking quite up in the prospect of this race.
Looks like three-way battles are something that has been quite consistent throughout the season. Although, of course, on a larger pack, we'd also have the mid-pack that will be fighting in groups of threes. But for now, it's just the leaders and the back markers. And to be fair to Pri, he is on the game trial, so I don't think we'll be seeing much more of him anytime soon after this race. So surely he will be disappointed from his result, or at least his race so far. Maybe if someone does cause an actual safety car, then perhaps he can try and
Oh.
make us something. But so far, nothing. Deepak squabbly behind Alex. Alex saving his ear as his light is flashing, so I think Deepak, yeah,
Deepak
he's
really
having a look
needs to
down the
go
and he's
past
sent
here,
it
and he barges his way
Smashes
past.
Alex, loses the rear, and Alex has done the switchback thanks to that. Who has the DRS between the both of them? Looks like, oh, Deepak still does, but he will not have that momentum coming into this corner, as he does not have it. You can see it quite obviously. Alex now with the DRS. Deepak is going to try whatever he
Oh
can.
my
Oh,
God.
like a brake check, maybe a desync, because Alex was disconnecting a bit during the qualifying, but so far Deepak has kept it clean, and I'm sure Alex was eyeing up a move earlier, but now no more.
Yeah, that was really close. I'm pretty sure there was a bit of netcode or a desync there, because I don't think Deepak is one to brake check that abrasively. Uh, but yeah, that was a great move there from Deepak. He had to get it done, albeit he did lose quite a bit of time, but now he needs to pull away and try and catch back up to the back of oxygen, which I think would be quite difficult. Let's go ahead now with Faizan, with the Dark Knight still tailing Faizan past a couple of laps. Okay, to whoever that is in the YouTube chat, you can join us by checking the description of the live stream. There will be a Discord link invite, and you can just click on that and join in. And free to race with the rest of our community, which we have built over the past 6.5 years. As Pri is coming in, gets 10-second penalty, goes just adds salt to the wounds he's already got from this race, and as the mechanics sadly change his tires, wondering why they're here, just to suffer. But into P1 and 2, you have a battle still on board, and it seems that Jishnu is still recouping his ERS. Yeah, sure, Shani.
Yeah, I think Helium's mediums might just be done.
All in all.
He was right there, but then now, yeah, he's lost his second. Oh, yeah, he has split, okay.
Yes, but
Another
maybe he's going
medium
for a
at the
third
moment?
undercut.
Surely he goes on to the medium right now.
Has to,
If he
yeah.
goes on to the hards, I think
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the medium. Yeah.
I think the only Hail Mary hard strategy that worked was for you, Boto, in Japan. If you remember, I'm not sure which season, a couple seasons ago, maybe 2 seasons ago, season 11, I think, where it was Japan and it was raining, and you accidentally went onto the house, but it worked perfectly for you. But luckily, Helium has thought a little bit before selecting what tile he wants to go
Yeah.
on to, and
Oh,
he
that
has gone on
honestly
to
just
mediums.
worked because I was the lead car. With the dirty air, I don't think that would have worked. But yeah, correct of Helium not to go into the there, and he's gonna have to push really, really hard to try and undercut the drivers. And it's gonna have to be quali laps through and through right now for the Ferrari of Helium. He needs to get past that Alpine as soon as he can. Yeah, he's getting a bit impatient. He knows these are critical laps now for him to try and catch back up. He's gonna go for a Hail Mary dive here. He will, just forcing the gap through, and then oxygen just getting out of the way. Aradhya is trying to go for another undercut and made also correct medium tire. Yeah, so hard, medium. Very interesting strategy there. I could not have seen that coming, honestly. But let's see how close Helium's gonna be behind Aradhya right now. Yeah, not really very close though, and he's got a 3
There
second.
he goes.
Yeah,
Unlucky.
that is done indeed.
Yeah, well,
Radia's PRS management is impeccable, man. Because if you look at the top three drivers, others they have like 30%, 40%. Aradia has close to 80, 85%.
Yeah, but he's got to use that now.
Yeah,
He's not been using it. You know, it's all to save and then never use it. You find yourself kicking yourself as to why you were that, save hungry. But yeah, maybe just going for a last few lap, full on hot lap push. But these are critical times for that Merc. Let's see if
where do
the
you all think he's
undercut
gonna
does
come out?
work. I
Sorry, but
think he
ahead
might
of
just come
Aradhya.
out ahead. I think he might just come out ahead. No,
Fairly
Aradhya might
close on
just
the
come out
edge.
ahead.
Aradia, yeah,
I think Aradhya might just come out ahead,
and Jishnu's
Yep.
gonna his tires are gonna be cold.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah,
He's
Aradhya might
ahead.
just come
He's
ahead.
ahead, and
Will
it's
Will
not even
Helium be
close.
ahead?
It's
No,
not
I
even
don't.
close, man. It's like a
It is
second,
close.
maybe.
It is close.
Oh, it is very close.
Okay, never mind.
Ah,
Like,
those
Yeah, there we go. The
those
gap
cold
extends now.
tires.
Yeah, I was right.
Those cold tires did it for Jishnu, but this is worst case scenario for Jishnu. Helium's on warmed up tires. Jishnu is on cold tires, albeit new. He won't have the maximum grips of them just yet. And Helium, despite having the 3 seconds, I'm sure he's going to close that 3 second gap, separating himself and Jishnu quite soon. Aradhya locking up as he goes through this hairpin, and I think
Oh, he's within DRS.
could be swap happening.
That was crucial for him. Now
Yeah.
just Jishnu can save ERS because he really does need to, considering the deficit he has to his teammate.
Oh,
He's not. I think he was
he's
just
just
within.
waited out. He's
Oh,
just
now
waited
he's
out.
out. Yeah, now he's out of DRS. Yeah.
They
No,
might
you're
have
right.
used some of that ERS he's been saving.
Yeah, Aradhya probably has used that ERS. I can't quite tell. Yeah, I think he has. He's used quite a bit.
Burned quite a
Oh,
bit of.
he's down to 17 and he used all of it to keep ahead. I mean, that was the right move, to be fair.
Desperation from Aradhya, but I'm sure at point I don't think there is really a battle for P1 and 2. I think the teammates have this decided because Jishnu has won so many races while Aradhya wasn't close. I think they could have internally decided that Aradhya can take this one while Jishnu will try and hold off Helium, who is kind of struggling to catch up. He's lost a second to Jishnu, so I think whatever the Mercedes boys are doing is working. So yeah, I think this battle is not over just yet, but something could be cooking perhaps later on as tires will come into play towards the end of the final stint here.
Well, he's back within DRS now. So that's
Yeah, he's
interesting.
on right on his gearbox there.
He's
fighting.
right on his gear. Yeah, you're right. I think Aradhya might have been a bit too hasty with the ERS, and now he's left nigh on empty tank of battery there, and maybe it hasn't worked out right for him. I think we praised him a bit too much, and he is on lesser ERS compared to his teammates. Somehow, with all that ERS he saved up, he decided to splurge it just to stay ahead out of DRS. But now it seems that his teammate has the upper hand with a surplus of ERS. So now it's just going to be how efficiently he can follow in dirty air, because Earlier it was Aradia in the turbulent air, now
Yeah.
him. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to develop.
Yeah, Helium's losing another. He's lost another second. And
Yeah.
talking about Arati, I'm sure if there was another certain ACC BMW driver in his space, I'm sure his excuse for dumping the battery would be, I don't deserve the battery. But I think right now, Pri is on Alex, chasing him down. Pri, who's not had the best of races, and Alex's PB finish would be a P8 or a P9, depending upon how this race goes. But yeah, Deepak's not too far from these guys as well. So the bottom three are still fighting to not be the bottom most driver. And I think this battle will be quite spicy in itself because the, obviously none of them are drivers who do give up positions quite easily. And Deepak, of course, a seasoned veteran, he knows where to put his car in the, to make sure that nobody else behind him can get past. And I'm sure he knows exactly where to put his car in case they do pass him to get by. So this battle will also be spicy. 2 deaths separate Jishnu and Aradhya on the top as Aradhya is struggling and Jishnu is on a full battery, and I think there might be a dump coming from Jishnu very, very soon. We will be watching that as there will be DRS here, but of course no moves made just yet since it is not the longest straight, but the DRS will be helpful for Jishnu as they come finally the corner before Aradhya locks up. So does Jishnu. Jishnu locks his rears, Aradhya locks his fronts, and that was very close between the teammates. If there were to be any contact, Healy would be right there to take the positions away and run away despite having those 3 seconds. So far, nothing, and I'm sure some messages were exchanged, not with kind words between the two of them. DRS with Jishnu now, and he will be following. He has used up a bit of his battery. Arad has recouped a little bit of his battery as well. And I'm sure this battle is not over just yet as we have 5 laps remaining in this race. Arad is losing his rear.
That was really, really close between the two mercs. I mean, we did see in real life 2016 or Austria, this very track where the mercs had a coming together, albeit it was on the normal layout, the hairpin, and this one was also very nearly in the hairpin. So a bit of a throwback, maybe to that particular game. But yeah, you're right. Raj is very, very nervous in the rear there, and got all his battery back, and I don't know how he's done it. Maybe he's just run no ERS for a couple of laps and just gotten it back, but yeah, again unable to find the exit into that hairpin. But look at the overspeed he has here. I think he's going to go past easily.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Not even a contest. Now it's a run this game within the ERS at the same time. 5 laps to go.
But I think Jishnu's main advantage was that he was able to perform much better behind dirty air. Because he was sticking with Aradhya, I think, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, even in the first sector where, it's just
And now
squiggly
he's
turns.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Well, that's not good. Yeah. Well, let's ignore that penalty and let's pretend the battle is still on merit. Just nothing there on the right side of that standing leaderboard. But yeah, seems that Aradhya's the nerves are getting to him. Just he's losing that advantage he had, and he's almost dropping out of DRS. The only hope for him is to sort of get that penalty removed, but I don't think that's going to happen. First round down, we see Dark Knight still trailing behind Faizan. Faizan is doing really, really well, holding his own against a very, very capable driver right now, and very close to the podium, but albeit yeah, 11 seconds. So close. For the one behind, the gaps have also spread out further ahead, and have gotten this mojo back as we split 3 and split 10 out. And I think what's happening here is just Radha stick close. Shawshank in the dirty and through these vehicles. But with his setup, maybe the straight line advantage he has is so much that he just gets that gap back down.
But he has to fight so much more harder to get it back because he just lost 2 tenths in that that corner section. So it just makes his job even more difficult. But he's again got his battery back. So you never know.
3 laps remaining and the battery 1 is still on. He's But Dark Knight again within a second of the Aston. But yes, this has been pretty eventful. The racing has been quite nice, quite clean. This track I thought would prove a bit more chaotic with the layout, but yeah, it seems pretty flowing. After watching it, quite fun and high speed. But yeah, so very difficult to follow at the track.
Aradia is having to fight that car into that corner every single lap. That understeer is not, that setup is not helping him.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and of course, I mean, he does, as I mentioned earlier, take, as you said as well, Shawshank, a very straight liney setup. So does help him save his ERS, does help in the straight, but obviously, being on controller, he is quite hindered through the corners. But of course, if you don't want to be hindered through the corners, just like Aradhya is, do make sure to check out Race Sims. We are partnered with them, and of course, we do have a discount code going. So if you do want to check out some very, very good direct drive wheels, do make sure to join us. Our link is in the description, and you can use our code to get a very, very good discount. It helps the community going as well, and of course, it'll help you get a proper sim setup and not stay on control like Aradhya. As we can see, Dark Knight finally caught up to Faizan, who is gonna do whatever he can, I'm sure, whatever move he knows in the book to keep that position. But so far, Dark Knight, yeah, that overspeed is crazy. He's caught up quite a bit. Can he carry the momentum in the final corner? No, he gets a worse exit. But I'm sure this battle is not over just yet, as we're on the penultimate lap. And this will go on, I'm pretty sure, until the line, this battle, as this is the only other battle on track. The other one we do have Alex and Ward Deepak, but Alex does have a penalty, so realistically that's not even a challenge because of Alex's penalties.
Oh,
As he does go off wide and tries to pick up another 3 second, making him keep the P7, or at least try to get a P7 a little bit harder. But he is trying, though, valiant effort from Alex. Started from nowhere, still close to nowhere, but he has done fairly well in keeping the car straight since he has not gotten much practice due to his personal commitments. Dark Knight, though, who has DRS of Faizan still, has this opportunity to get by. Shawshank, what do you think will happen?
Dark Knight is just going to take it a little slow because Faizan does have a 3 second penalty, and I don't think Dark Knight wants to ruin his race by crashing out or getting damaged now. So he might just stick behind him, just till the end of the race, take it towards later.
no, but you need to win on track, man. That ego has to be there. And
Yeah,
I'm
the
pretty
ego
sure
has
Dark
to be
Knight's
there.
going to do his best to get that move done, man. Let's have a look at Faizan's ERS, see how he's been. Because Dark Knight's on 44 right now, 40 now.
And
He's
he's
really
burning.
pushing.
Yeah.
Vishnu, meanwhile, has absolutely and exponentially increased his gap to 2.8, coupled with a 3 second penalty for the three drivers behind him. Faultless in this race. He's been just maybe a bit low on ERS, but maybe that was a ploy all along. Just harvest it later on. He just played all his cards right, and very close to taking out his teammate, but I think that was too close to comfort. But he is comfortably won, crosses the finish line for yet another win in IRC year 25. After rounds off the podium in P3 with a 3 second penalty. Well, Dark Knight's really close. 1.5 tenths, 1 tenth behind. Could be just a bit too far back to make the move done, but yeah, he's going to get that place and secure a nice fourth position. So it's 1-2 for Merck and 3-4 for Ferrari. Merck sort of closing that gap on their rivals right now in W2. Oxygen having a very uneventful race. I think unfortunately we covered him even once. That's a very late dive from Free. He goes down the inside. Oh, he's gonna try and sweep him off. Well, Alex played his cards right and then slowed down. Okay,
Maybe even he
interesting.
thought he didn't deserve it.
Maybe, yeah. Tanish has had an influence on the server, I must say. But yeah, very, very clean and nice race. Maybe not as chaotic as we thought it, but yeah, another masterclass by the leading WDC driver in Vishnu. That's a new graphic I've seen. That's very nice. We have everything on one screen. Yeah, driver of the day goes to Deepak. Yep, he had a very good race. Strung his moves together. Bit squiddly in the exit here and there, but yeah, had a clean race for once. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that, guys? I think it was pretty clean and pretty eventful, in all the good ways. Sadly, we couldn't get a battle on merit for the final few laps, but yeah, it was interesting throughout.
Not only on track, but even with strategies. All these drivers, especially the top five, six drivers, just going on to various random ass tires. Sorry for my language, but I mean, we were so confused. I'm pretty sure they had no idea what to do.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Like, I don't even know what strategy. Two sets of hards in a race is just absolutely
In a 50% race, mind you.
maniac stuff. But yeah, yeah, we will certainly ask the drivers about strategy. And I have a very pressing question to ask as well, which I will certainly in a bit as we get ready for the podium. I think we just have Helium left. If someone can tag him, and we'll start with him because yeah, we normally do start with the descending order of the podium. Hmm.
I think Helium might not be joining us today. For now, let's just get going with Aradhya.
Sure. Okay. Okay. I will take that away. Aradhya, congrats. That was pretty fun to watch. Your ERS management was superb in the second stint, but then I think you tried to splurge it all to get away with out of DRS of Jishnu, but I think it didn't work. And then you were just pushing so hard and got a pen. Yeah, just talk us through. How was it?
Yeah, it was a pretty good race in first stint. Helium made a mistake at start, so just capitalized on it. Just try to make as much of a gap as possible because I didn't knew how fast Helium was going to be on this track. So yeah, just carried myself behind Jishnu. Occasionally in his DRS and all in first stint. Then in second stint, managed to comfortably stay within his DRS. I just managed my ERS all the way through. Helium was gaining on mediums, but then yeah, I mean we just kept our cool. We both and we both just kept driving. And yeah, in third stint, just went on mediums. I wasn't like trying to break DRS. I was just trying to get fastest lap. If I'm being honest, I just wanted to go for the fastest lap. So just push for that with ARS. But then the mediums were just they were not the best race style. I had pretty high driver on them. They felt quite inconsistent compared to the hards for me. So just kept making a lot of mistakes here and there. Just the car was just sliding, and ultimately in the end only we came to an agreement that just let Jishnu go, don't compromise or one two
Hmm.
in some silly mistakes, and also just let Jishnu pass, and I would just like to thank him so much for like, being my wingman for carrying me throughout the second stint. Like if not for him, then I'm pretty sure Helium would have overtaken me. But yeah, just
Yeah.
thanks to him, I was able to secure it.
Yeah, congrats. But you know what? I do need to ask, was it raining a bit in the race?
No.
I think so. Around the last lap, it might have been just after coming out of the final corner, it might have started. But other than that, it wasn't raining at all.
Okay,
It was
maybe
completely
it's
dry.
just my eyes then. But yeah, congrats on that P2, man. You got a bit unlucky with the 3 seconds, and yeah, I think we have more to see from you in the season, and I'm pretty sure you will take the battle
Yeah.
to your teammate soon enough. It's about to happen. I can feel it. But yeah, great race from you, and yeah, Simply and Shawshank, if you want to ask anything, go ahead.
Nope, just good race, Aradhya. But do consider getting away next time.
God damn.
We'll try. Thank you for your advice. We'll try.
All right, we will move on to our race winner, Jishnu. Great race from you, Jishnu. That was, I mean, I'm sure a little bit tense between you and your teammate in the middle because, well, at one point Helium was catching up, and of course, neither of you were willing up to give up the position. You weren't pulling away from Aradhya in the second stint as well. So, talk us through what was really happening between the two of you and what was especially going on in your mind? Did you think at any point that Helium could potentially pose a challenge to you?
Yeah, thank you guys. First of all, I think the race was good overall. First stint, it was just about getting a good start. I always start on mediums for getting the start and to pull away. So tried to gain over the second out of the DRS, and then later it's about management because you can't really push with the mediums a lot. And then second stint, I had a moment coming into the pits. Luckily, no wing damage. I lost time to Aradhya as well. I think that's why he could overcut me as well in the second first stop. But yeah, I think he was very good in the hard stint. We both actually managed to just pull away the gap. We knew we didn't know which tire medium was going to go. Then he went on medium, so I know he was going to catch up, but I was always confident because it's very difficult to pass, especially with two cars. Um, yeah. Plus, I think I knew mediums will fall off after like lap 5 on it. Then uh, it was going into the mediums. I made a mistake. I didn't go for the harder compound, so I could have two hards for the race, which was normally the better strategy. But yeah, the mediums were good, to be honest, at the last stint. I could really push. I didn't have any practice, so I was struggling the first two stints, messing up the downhill left-hander, which is initially turn 3. But yeah, then we couldn't do anything. But 1-2 is very happy for the team.
Certainly, and I'm sure you would be eyeing up some more 1-2s coming up in the season. As of course, let's not forget the Ferrari drivers have been quite consistent as well, and I'm sure they are giving challenge on track in the WDC, but sure, with a very, very interesting track. We do have Bahrain coming up, and I'm sure quite a few drivers will be dominating it since April has been quite dominant on there, and I'm sure a controller might actually be advantageous on that one specific track. But yeah, we will see what happens next week. And thank you so much for joining us. Do make sure to join our server if you are interested in taking part in these leagues with us. Of course, we will be having ACC next week. As schedule will might be subject to change depending upon IRL races, but that is obviously quite interesting on Saturdays. And of course, we have F1 2025 on Sundays 8 p.m. So do make sure to join in for both of those next week and check out race sims, link is in the description as well as on our server, if you do want to grab yourself a very very good discount on some very very good wheels. That has been it from the IRC team. It has been it from myself, Moto, Shawshank, and of course Kapil A6, who has been our streamer today. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll catch you next week. Bye bye.
Yes, all three are rest of their hours of the weekend.